Welcome friends. Today we are taking a topic material requirement planning which is unit 7 of your course production management BME 013 and I am your course coordinator Dr. Ashish Agrawal from School of Engineering and Technology IGNOU New Delhi. Regarding this course, when we are discussing the material requirement planning, it is a very important topic. If you just remember, the first we have discussed about the forecasting, because we want to know what is the customer demand, and on the basis of the customer demand which is forecasted, we have gone through aggregate production planning, where we decide what is the aggregate production planning and how we will do the production planning in a aggregate manner. We have also seen the example of a steel company which is making a different variety of steel, just like different shapes of rod, different I section, different L section, and different types of your sheets as required by different manufacturing company. In order to aggregate the overall production planning, they will not give the demand for each, or they will not make a production plan for each type of steel. So what they do, they will aggregate and they will say that so much ton of production planning is required, or in other words, they will always say the planning is required or production plan is required for the production of this much ton of steel. After that, again we are coming to a topic which is the topic of today's discussion, that is material requirement planning. Then we see that for individual component, individual product, how we will do the material requirement plan. So let us see what we are going to discuss today, and I have tried to provide you the simplest way of explanation regarding the material requirement planning. Globalization, today we are in the age of globalization. Earlier the focus is only city-based or national-based suppliers. Now we are going from the different countries, and the companies of different companies are also coming to India. So globalization has left many service-oriented companies and manufacturing industries with the alternative of pursuing world best practice. Many companies now comprehend the need for the development of methodology as well as acquiring the new productivity tools such as MRP, material requirement planning, bill of material, master production schedule, in short we say MPS, or MRP2, which is manufacturing resource planning. That will let them in a commercial position to offer a competitive manufacturing resource planning. It assures customers about the quality of goods, quality of services, and the compliance with the international quality requirement on different industry field. This material requirement planning initiates with the principle that many materials held in inventory are generally depend on the demand. Now materials, as we have also discussed in earlier session, materials are of two types: raw material, which is keep in inventory, partially completed material or the semi-finished product, they are all kept or they are held as a work in process inventory or the process inventory. The raw material quantity of a particular material with the dependent demand is needed in a week time, depend on the number of products to be produced. The demand for raw material and the partially completed, in other words we say the work in process inventory, does not have any forecasted estimate, because it depends upon the final product or the finished product. This is the overview of the MRP structure which we are going to discuss today. That is the material requirement planning, then planned order, then week order, then purchase order, or rescheduling practices or matrices, all we will discuss today. The best or the basic structure of MRP which we are going is a computer based. Now we should understand that with the help of computer, with the help of computer program, we are trying to reduce the complexity. We take through a computer software, we understand the production schedule and explode the MPS into required amount of raw material, parts, some assembly needed in each week of the planning, then reduces these material requirement to account for the material that are inventory or on order, and develop a schedule for the purchase of material or producing parts over the planning horizon. So what we are going to study today? We are trying to understand what is meant by material requirement planning. We will also learn what is the principle of MRP. During the session, I will normally use the short form material requirement planning, MRP, and we will know the important factors which affect the MRP. Now the first question which will come in your mind, what are the objectives of MRP? MRP has become a valuable planning tool for most of the manufacturing around the world. After implementing MRP, the common benefits are increased inventory turns, more delivery promise meeting, fewer orders that need to be splitted because of material shortage, fewer expediter required, and shorter lead time in delivering the project. So first we will provide you the benefits, and then slowly you will understand the objectives of MRP. So basic objective of any MRP tool is to improve the customer service. Why we are doing so? We are doing so because we want to improve the customer service. We want to improve the market share. Second important objective, we want to reduce the inventory investment. You will appreciate this point. If we are going to plan an inventory for the whole year, it will be much costlier as compared when we plan the inventory for 1 week. There are 52 weeks in a year. You just see that 52 times we are reducing the investment. And the third important point is improving the plant and operating efficiency. So when we go for the inventory investment reduction, we will try to improve the customer service by reducing the lead time and improving the quality parameter. Then definitely our plant operating efficiency will improve. These are the three objectives of any MRP tool. Now the first important objective that we are going to discuss is to improve the customer service. Improving the customer service means to supply more products than just required. And the most important thing, when the customer orders or when we receive the customer order. To have the satisfied customers also means meeting the delivery promises and shortening the delivery times. Not only does the MRP provide the necessary management information to make delivery promise that can be kept, but also the promises are logged into MRP control system that guides the production. The most important point is that promised delivery dates become the goal to be met by the organization, and the probability of meeting the promised delivery dates is improved. Second important objective is to reduce the inventory investment. When we have the fixed order quantity and the order point system, then we normally used to plan the orders for the raw material, plan for order quantity plus safety stock for the inventory. Because in master production schedule, we have the quantity of order or the economic order quantity, and then we also keep the safety stock. So we take the total economic order quantity and the safety stock. Now, because of these facets may be the several weeks apart, the pattern of inventory levels is long period of full inventory interspread with brief periods of low level. On the other hand, in MRP, orders for raw materials are timed to arrive at approximately the time at which the raw material end item appears in the MPS. So here I just want to explain this point that through MRP we are trying to minimize the time or the lead time. So our material as per MPS or the material production schedule is arriving exactly at the same time at which the raw material is going to get exhausted. Another important point about this objective is the pattern of inventory level in MRP is long period with low level of inventory interspread with the brief period with full inventory. So what we want that there should not be any condition when there is no inventory at our stocks. The impact of MRP on the raw material inventory level is therefore dramatically reduced by using the average inventory. That is why we have discussed that instead of going low level or high level, we are trying to average level so that we should keep a particular level of inventory throughout the period. Third important objective is to improve the plant operating efficiency. MRP controls the quantity and the timing of deliveries of raw material, part, sub-assembly and assemblies. In an MRP, the right materials are delivered at the right time. Additionally, inflows can be slowed or accelerated in response to change in the production schedule. Now, what MRP will do if we achieve these three objectives? They will reduce the number of stock out and material delivery delays, and that will result in more production without increase in the number of employees or the machine. Reduction of incidence of scrapped sub-assembly, assembly and product resulting in the use of correct parts. The capacity of production department is increased as a result of decreased production idle time, increased efficiency of physical movement of materials and reduced confusion and the planning delays. All aforementioned benefits result mainly from the philosophy of MRP. MRP systems are based on the philosophy that each material part and assembly needed in production should arrive simultaneously at the right time to produce the end items in the MPS, that is material production schedule or the master production schedule. Again, if we just see regarding the benefits from the MRP when we achieve the objective, this philosophy result in accelerating the material that are going to be late and slowing down the delivery of material that are going to be too early, because there are two conditions: either material will be late or material will arrive much earlier. So if we take one example, if material is going to be late and nothing can be done about it, other material needed to assemble the end item will not be needed until the one late material arrives. So I think you should understand this type of a behavior which normally occur in MRP, that if one particular material is going to be late, then we will not make hurry for the assembly, because unless and until that item will reach, we will not go for, or we will not complete the assembly. MRP system changes the due dates of all the material so that the material arrived simultaneously to assemble the end item. A chief benefit of MRP system is that production operation works on the part that are really needed on their due dates, so that the production capacity is being used directly support the MPS. Now, what is the principle of MRP? What are the different role of each component of the MRP? So the topmost principle we will try to explain you, because it is better to explain the whole thing so that you should understand the principle in a very comprehensive manner. A material requirement planning is concerned primarily with the scheduling of activities and the management of inventory. This you should keep in mind. It is particularly useful where there is a need to produce the component, items or subassembly which themselves are later used in the production of final product, or in manufacturing organization where the provision of transport or service for a customer necessitate the use or provision of certain subsystems. If I take the example, it may be used when a customer orders a computer from a manufacturing organization, which must first manufacture to obtain various components which are used to do the final assembly of that computer for that specific customer. Similarly, in treating a patient in a hospital for a major operation, the hospital must provide accommodation for the patient, diagnostic test, anesthetics equipment and the services, and the post-care facilities, as well as surgical facilities, so that the patient's total requirement gets satisfied. In these two examples, whether it is a particular component or another example of hospital, in all cases final product, we can go for the final product if we receive the subcomponent and the sub-assembly of that particular final output. These lower level provisions are considered to be dependent on the final requirement. That means if the final requirement of the customer is 5 product, then how many components are required at the lower level? That is the principle of MRP. Given a measure for or forecast of the total number of customer, the demand of lower level components can be estimated or can be obtained. Material requirement planning technique is used precisely for this purpose. It takes as one of the input the measure of forecast demand for the system output. It breaks down this demand into the component parts and compares this requirement against the existing inventory and seek to the schedule the parts required against the available capacity. The MRP procedure produces a schedule for all component parts, if necessary through to purchasing requirement, and where appropriate shows the expected shortage due to the capacity limitations. This figure will give you the material requirement planning. This is the basic structure of MRP. It takes care of all the inputs and the output for developing the procedure for material requirement planning. If we talk about the fundamental structure of material requirement planning procedure, it is a type of a repetitive process, because the same process is repeated for each type of component or subcomponent, assembly or sub-assembly, and we called is as an explosion. Just like in explosion, the small parts are scattered. Similarly, by exploding the main component or the main product we are exploding, so that we can get the smallest component of that particular product or the assembly. So the explosion and the scheduling procedure begin to be repeated at a regular interval, perhaps corresponding to the interval at which the demand forecasting is undertaken, or as when the required as a result of change in the known demand. The use of this procedure involves the considerable data processing, even for relatively simple availability of cheap computing power in the organization. So this is very important that we should go for the smallest component of the product. Now there are some factors as we have pointed out in our learning objective also, that you will be able to explain the important factors which affect the MRP. If we say in short that MRP applications depends on factors like batch size and the safety stock. Batch size means the amount or the quantity of product which we are going to produce in one batch. And safety stock is the stock which keep in anticipation of certain misfortune or delay in the arrival of some material. So first we will discuss the factor, that is the batch size. The operation of an MRP procedure result in the purchase or manufacture of items in the quantities required when they are actually required. But this takes no account of the need to purchase and manufacture the economic batch size, which balance the ordering or the setup cost against the holding cost. So there are two types of cost in inventory. First is your ordering or setup cost, and second is your holding cost. So the batch size, while considering this factor, we should consider the ordering cost as well as the holding cost. For the factor batch size, if these economies are to be obtained, the MRP procedure must accommodate an economic batch sizing procedure. One method of achieving this is to issue an order, whether a procedure or manufacturing order, for a fixed quantity of an item whenever there is a requirement for that particular item. Items surplus to the requirement are then placed in stock. When a later date the item is required again, the stock is depleted or a further economic batch quantity is manufactured. Under the batch size, in fact, the need for inventories of item over the period of time result mainly from the need to manufacture items in economic batch size, unless there are safety stock consideration at each level. So for the need of inventory arises, and for each time we go for the economic batch size production, unless and until there is a term or there is a requirement or the consideration for the safety stock. Now we will talk about the safety stock, which is a second important factor for considering the MRP procedure. Where an MRP procedure is used against the forecast and product demand, there is a risk that the forecast may be inaccurate, and therefore on these occasions more end products are required than has been anticipated for a given period, because there is maybe the natural disaster, there may be the man-made disaster, and each time we need the safety stock. To protect against such situation, it would be necessary or it would be advisable to hold some safety stock. Where the customer requirement are concerned exclusively with the end product rather than also being expressed in terms of components or parts, or safety stock is best held at the higher level within the bill of requirement structure, so that at the final assembly or the final product assembly level we should not suffer because of the lack of availability or the non-availability of certain critical item. In these circumstances, the MRP procedure itself tends to protect against the shortage of lower level item by producing them in time to meet the final master production schedule. Hence, safety stock is normally held only at the lower level where the customer demand can be expressed in terms of component part, or as well as it can be expressed as a finished product. So in both cases, we normally keep safety stock at the lower level. Now, how you will make an assessment of MRP? Before going in detail, let us first see what are the advantages associated with the MRP over the conventional inventory planning approach, such as fixed order quantity or order point that we are going to demonstrate in the coming session. This include improved customer service. The first advantage is the improved customer service. There is a strong probability of reducing the inventory level. There is a strong probability to enhance the operating efficiency of the production department. Now, what are the characteristics of production system that support a successful implementation of MRP or the material requirement planning? First important thing, we need an efficient computer system with lot of networking across the organization. We also want accurate computerized bill of material along with the inventory status files for all end items and the materials. And more important is a production system that manufacture discrete product processed through the several production steps made up of raw material, parts, sub-assembly and assembly. Production process having long processing time. We have a reliable lead time, then master production schedule, then top management commitment is very much required for the successful implementation of MRP, and these are the main characteristics of the production system. MRP has not been and will not be applied to all the production system, because in any organization there are so many products that are going to be manufactured. So we will not implement or applied MRP for whole or the all production system. In some production management application, MRP is either unnecessary or economically unjustified. The frequency of MRP uses, however, definitely have a dramatic upward trend in manufacturing organization. As we gain more experience with MRP, we realize it is not a procedure or a detail, and it does not solve all our inventory problem. Basically, MRP is a production operation management computerized information system. Sometimes people say that if we implement MRP, then we will improve the production efficiency. Because MRP is a computer software, the effort is needed from our side or from the human side. Then only MRP or the computer based system can give you the better result. When computer systems are ineffective, inventory status and the bill of materials file will be inaccurate. Master production schedule will be undependable. When the remainder of the organization, similarly it will be mismanagement and MRP will not help. MRP will generate greater volume of inaccurate or unused information if all these systems are not working properly or in accordance with each other or in a more comprehensive manner. There is a need to work in a more comprehensive manner or synchronization between the production and inventory planning system. In today's session, we have discussed about the material requirement planning. In short, we say MRP. So, you have studied that MRP is a set of procedure for converting forecasted demand for a manufactured product into a required schedule for the components, sub-assembly and raw material and compromising that particular product. A closely related concept is that of master production schedule, which we have also discussed in this session, which provides you the specification about the projected needs of the end product or the time period. The explosion of the product, which we have discussed, provides you an important rule how to convert the product or how to explode the product into the small components, so that we can understand the requirement of material at the lower level. The information required to do the explosion calculus is basically is a type of exercise, and we get all this information with our experience. Now we have developed the computer software and we tried to provide the bill of material in a shortest possible time. But my friends, the MRP or the material requirement planning will only be successful if our demand or the forecaster's demand is accurate, and if we do the inventory planning in a proper way, then only MRP will give more better result in terms of reduction in inventory planning, improved in production efficiencies. Thank you.